I want to go back to what happened yesterday evening, and with Mubarak having to step down and being forced to leave the country. Because the first thing that I did after meeting up with Michael yesterday evening is I went down to Edgware Road, and suddenly I encountered all the different people that we had met on the 29th of January when we took the student demonstration here in London, when we took it down to the Egyptian embassy. And then they said the students in Britain had a role in this. Well, I don't know how big the role was, but they definitely saw that we had shown our solidarity to them, and they were really excited and asked several of the students to make little speeches who were down there at Edgware Road, and really were enthusiastic that we had been supporting them and had taken the mass demonstration down to the Egyptian embassy. And the fascinating thing is that things are coming together in a rapid and very volatile way. And we have seen it over the last couple of weeks before Christmas, and we continue to see it in 2011. And who would have thought that we would start the year off with two revolutions, Ben Ali getting kicked out, and then Mubarak. And so in the same way, I think the opportunities that we have here in the students' movement are immense, and the ones that we're facing. And I think we have three tasks ultimately that we need to be building on. I think the first one is outlined by what Jim said around the UCU strike. I think we have moved from strength to strength on the question of student-worker solidarity, in terms of having an NUS president which used to say students need industrial action like a bullet in their head, to suddenly being supportive of UCU strikes, and actually students around the country are gearing up to whipping up solidarity funds, whipping up strike funds, and starting to really build links with their UCU branches which happened throughout the demonstration, but which continues to happen at this moment in time. As well as the fact is that people have been going down to different trade union branches, whether GMB workers, whether Unite, and even one person from the Education Activist Network had been invited to speak at the Construction Workers Conference by Unite. And it just shows you what immense possibilities there are at this moment in time. And so the UCU ballot is really key in this battle that we face as a students' movement. But it also means that we need to reconfigure and re-strategize of how we take this fight forward. Because if we look around the country, we actually don't see any national ballots before the May election. And the UCU has stuck its head out and said, we're taking it to the government. We are not going to take the cuts and the austerity measures that they are trying to impose upon us. And that means that we need to be standing shoulder to shoulder with our lecturers in this battle. And it isn't only about a few academics at the top in the hierarchy that are heads of law department or are having franchise systems in Dubai, Hong Kong, or where not. What it is about your graduate teaching assistant who's probably not even getting marked for marking your paid for marking your essays. It's about your graduate teaching assistant who takes his time off to meet you in the cafe to go through what has been going through in class. And it's about those lecturers who are there for you when you need them and who are teaching you, and also providing research that provides critical learning and critical teaching, rather than just another business opportunity for universities to make an extra few quid. And so I think if we're talking about the UCU strike, we need to recognize two things. That first of all, there will be a section of students at each and every university which will be opposed to the strikes. And there will be another section which will not know what the strikes are about. And there's three things. And there's another section which will know and which can really drive this forward. And the vast majority of people in this country will have, as Barnaby pointed out, will have either their grandparents are getting their pensions slashed, their sisters are 1 minute left.
Sorry.
I go on for too long. So yeah, I think it's a very clear cut battle that we're facing in terms of the UCU strike, and it really makes sense for us to push the strike forward. Because if it's true, if we can push UCU with the confidence to go into strike action in the week running up to the TUC demonstration, we could see a real mood developing around the TUC demonstration on the 26th of March. Imagine having a strike in the week of the 21st of March by UCU lecturers and having all students in further education colleges and universities walking out on the day, occupying their universities in the run-up to the strike action and showing concrete solidarity. University of West England in Bristol has gone into occupation over the strike that is happening at the moment. And that's the model that we need to be fighting for. Because if we take the perspective that we have the 24th of February, where the vice chancellors who have just given themselves a 20% pay rise will be deciding of how they're going to be implementing the cuts in a year which they don't have the right fees hike yet in place. And we mobilize for that. We mobilize for the 14th of March, in which the Higher Education Funding Council of England will be announcing its cuts and the depth of the cuts. And then leading up to the 21st of March, where you have where you possibly have the strike date of the UCU. You could have on the 26th of March, you could have a red thread pulling through the experience of the university and FE students, pulling through the entire TUC demonstration, and making one thing for sure. And with just one point, and I think that's important, Cameron and Clegg say that the system cannot afford to have young people in education. And what we need to be saying is that we cannot afford to have them in power for any longer.